And now for something completely different.
Forget everything you've been told by others before. Get ready for the real deal. The full story. Real talk about money, markets, life. Now, it's The Real Investment Show, presented by RIA Advisors.
And good morning. Welcome to Financial Fitness Podcast. We're so glad you're here. Well, Brent's glad you're here. I'm never really glad about anything. Well, I am sort of glad. I'm glad. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm glad you're here. I wanted everyone to know that Brent Clanton's retirement is in jeopardy. Because the penny will be no more. 300 billion coins in circulation. Pennies. So they're not going away anytime soon. But you're just sitting there with a jar of pennies? Like everybody's got a jar?
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do with them?
A Coinstar.
These Coinstars will take
I'm a
them.
Coinstar guy.
Yeah, I'm a Coinstar guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever stay at that machine for like a guy will do at a stall, like an urinal? Like, yeah. Like, how long is it going to take me to get all these damn coins?
Well, Rich, I don't know about you, but I'm not a guy who likes to hang out at the urinal.
I know. No, but I'm just saying but Coinstar is like the metal urinal, right?
It is.
So it's like you're like
clank, 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 clank,
and everybody's like, "What the hell?" Like all that noise, and
Yep.
you're there like 20 minutes, and someone's going to rob you on the way out of Kroger's.
Obnoxiously loud. Yes. Yeah.
I have a theory about pennies. Why they're going away?
Go ahead.
Because a penny for your thoughts today seems like much too high a price to pay.
Some of the
in
thoughts
the
that
way
we're getting,
society is today.
Yeah, I'm the guy who brings the Alhambra 5-gallon water jug full of change.
And listen, man, I do that too. I've got them everywhere.
Yeah, where you can barely lift the thing to get it in there. Yep.
And I try to make it as loud as possible in the tray.
Yep.
I'm disrupting the entire store because it sounds like a bomb going off at them. Bomb going off at the machines. I am.
And you're always right next to the registers, so you get those looks from everyone where you're just obnoxiously loud and they can't even talk to the
Hi,
cashier.
baby, look how many quarters I got. I'm full of quarters, baby. Look at me. These convert to dollars.
Or gift card.
Or gift card. Listen, that was genius. The creation of those machines.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolute genius.
Yeah. I remember being younger, dating myself a bit, but we used to roll change.
No, we all
and
did.
take them to the bank.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm
And,
surprised
the
you
little
even did
tubes,
that.
you pack them.
And it's like you stand there for hours. You got hours. You're packing those damn things.
And it was a game for us when we were kids. My brothers and I would race. How fast could we
Well,
pack
in
these
Brooklyn,
coins?
we used them as weapons. We would put them into socks and hit people with. So everybody's got a different use for rolled pennies.
I grew up in the era of In Living Color and Homie the Clown. So my brothers
Remember
and I,
Homie?
we used to beat each other with socks with baseballs in them because of that show.
I don't
you very
think
much.
if you ever never seen Living Color, but there's no way that show can get remade today.
Not a chance. Yeah, not a chance.
Married with Children and Living Color, in Living Color, but in Living Color, man, I would roll.
Yeah.
Homie
Fire
the-
Marshal Bill?
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, classic.
Homie the Clown.
Yeah, Homie the Clown.
And you remember when Jim
Homie, don't play
Carrey did
that.
the whole like Muslim thing? He was like the singer, and you just couldn't.
Not a chance.
But Homie would come out with the pea jar.
Mm-hmm.
That would crack me up, and the pickles in it. Like, I am
good
telling you,
television,
that
guys.
show
Yeah.
was genius, absolute genius. So pennies are going away, but again, it's going to take a while. Since Canada did away with theirs, and, Canada's revolutionary, so we got to follow them down into the toilet. Let's flush. So it just shows you over time. Like, you probably don't even need the nickel.
Probably not. Yeah.
Because it probably still costs more than 5 cents to produce it.
Yeah. I would imagine.
So, but the penny is nearly as old as America itself. And America's not looking too good. And see, neither is the penny. So, sorry, penny. Sorry, Brent's retirement plan. Saving. Remember those people crying because they got those jars buried in the backyard? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Folgers can.
Yeah. But finance can be scary. especially when it comes to risk tolerance questionnaires. Whoa, no.
The R word.
Let me just explain. This is possibly the poorest, dumbest areas of finance. You have all, or most of you have filled out a risk tolerance questionnaire. And when you go through them, and I'm sure, Jonathan, you've gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm. One or two.
Yeah. You sort of could laugh at them because how much of a failure they are to predict how you're going to act in certain conditions. And all it is, for the most part, is a way for compliance departments to cover their asses, right? There is nothing that is going to help an advisor or you, because it all depends how you feel that day and what the market's doing that day. Oh, it's a sunny day. The market's up 200 points. Man, woof. Yeah, market falls. I'll buy more. I'm going to buy more. I mean, and then obviously, if the market's down, you're answering that damn thing differently, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to real markets, they absolutely fail. So give you some of the way we make the sausage around here. We use something a little bit different, sort of a psychometric way of looking at things through a company called Data Points. And we have all our prospective clients go through the investor profile because it's really looking at greater decisions outside of your investments as far as measuring your risk aptitude and attitude, right? How willing you are to take on investment risk. Mm-hmm. And there's one, we look at risk capacity. So that's your overall situational ability and financial to take on the risk. Obviously, the standard stuff, time horizon, principal and income from investments, and then also risk attitude. Just your overall attitude to take on investment-related risk. Years ago, I started studying how risk tolerances were a big failure and just a big proponent for the compliance department. But there used to be one that used to be Phenometrica, and we used to use that, and I noticed it hadn't changed much. And I wanted something more dynamic for us. So we gave everybody this. So I took it. I think you took yours.
I did take it as well.
So this investor profile test that we give everybody, it can help you, it helps your advisor understand your personality and experiences with making investment decisions across the board. Also insight on how you can anticipate, one, how you will make decisions, and some of those emotional bias pitfalls that you might fall into. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about you, but I have a feeling I know where you came in on a lot of this stuff.
You know, I think the creators of this test were in cahoots with my wife.
You think so?
Yes, because the first category is investing confidence, and the feedback I got was that I can possibly be overly confident. And
but here's the thing, and it's a great point you're bringing up. I got a score of 99 on my investor profile overall score, right? So that's the measure of your psychological risk tolerance, right? Made of 5 characteristics. You have an above average, and you think about, and obviously I got may buy during a downturn, 90 on that. So the one thing as advisors us taking this, what overall score, investor profile overall score did you get?
My overall score was a 99.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because we're advisors?
Funny that my may buy on a downturn was also a 90.
Was it?
Yeah, I think we had almost the exact same score, Rich. Although the other aspect, that, again, in cahoots with my wife here, my judgment was a 10. So
I wonder if they have a spouse tolerance questionnaire. Is that
would be good.
I wonder where everybody would fall on the spouse tolerance. Why don't they do that before you get married? Give you all a spouse tolerance questionnaire.
You know, if you're smart, you've had those conversations.
They do.
They have a test?
It's called premarital counseling.
Yes,
but they actually
that
give
is true
you
through the church.
They actually give you a test?
I've not seen a written test. Have you?
No, it's more of a
I
conversation.
got to talk to Sarah Fallow
Yeah.
at Data Points
Yeah.
to do a spousal.
There's an opportunity.
He scored 99, but he's way overconfident.
Yes. Sounds so familiar.
Now, I did get risk perception, because risk perception in this questionnaire gives you an idea of what you're feeling about markets right now. I did get a 55. So I got it a neutral. I'm not negative or positive, right? Because of where the market's done. No one probably could go more. So it's based on the market, the economy, the market, and your overall financial position. So I was pretty meh on.
Kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
You're kind of a pessimistic guy, Rich. I could see that.
I know, yeah. Really am.
I came in at an 80, so
that's
I'm
good.
pretty positive.
Yeah, you are
but
pretty positive.
Again, most of my
But life
trading
hasn't really
strategies-
beaten the shit out of you yet.
Not quite
it's
yet.
coming.
It's catching up to the last 5 months. Are definitely
No, I'm
doing
telling you,
their
I know.
work.
I can see the difference. Like, you've been pounded.
You
but
see the bags?
Yeah,
guys?
no,
You do? Yeah.
I could pack for Africa in those bags.
I don't know how
So
these
I-
dads do it. I don't know.
Oh.
It's rough.
And welcome to Rosso's Garage. I have no idea what all those tools do. We might need the fire extinguisher through the show because it's hot in here. But welcome to Financial Fitness Garage. That could be a really good show for APC. Oh, wait, they did that already. Some sort of garage show. Everything happens in the garage. You know, during retirement, what I have noticed is a lot of men, they don't have a man cave. They have a man garage. And their wives will not walk in. They don't even want to look at it. So about 3 weeks ago, a client said, my wife took the screwdriver I have hanging up. I have a row of screwdrivers. They're all in a row on the pegboard, and one is missing. And you would have thought that the world was about to come to an end till that screwdriver was back in its rightful place. No, it was in the junk drawer. And that was a problem. That was a problem.
The junk drawer in the kitchen?
In the kitchen was written, and
That's where all screwdrivers go to die.
well, pretty much when they should be on the pegboard in the garage. So that created a big. He's still not over it. He's still not over it. Might be grounds for divorce. So, what also could be grounds for divorce is how you all decide to create a retirement income stream. And the toughest part of retirement income is we try to create hard, fast rules about withdrawals in retirement. And there's enough rules of thumb that are absolutely outdated and still today are employed and discussed in many major brokerage firms because they're still living in the 90s. And in all fairness, Bill Bengen, who created the 4% withdrawal rule, I'm sure all of you have heard that rule of thumb. It was at the time revolutionary because at least it gave you some guidance on what to do. But even he, as an older gentleman now in retirement, looks at these more customizable elements. And I think that's the word we need to remember here. Customizable. Years ago, when you were getting 9, 10% on bonds, it was easy to just say, I'm going to put all my money in fixed income and clip the coupons. That was a term I've heard a lot when I first started in the business. Makes sense, right? I was on a trajectory of rates going lower, so my balances were going, and I was getting this incredibly nice stream of income. But today, the retirement income picture is more a mosaic of how do I bring in the lifeblood of retirement, which is income. And I always say this. Now, growth is important. We understand you might live longer. I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that I do. Some of the things are out there, so you really understand how you're aging, okay? The amazing technology that's out there that can help you understand if you are increasing your longevity. But the point I'm trying to make is what you might find frustrating when creating a retirement income plan is it's more art than science. Even with all the incredible tools, say, at RAA that we use to create guardrails for clients, helping them understand how to realistically spend, and that's the word, realistically. Because most retirees want flexibility. It's because of how people retire today. So, I mean, I always bring up my grandpa retired. He pretty much didn't do much. He retired at 65. He was a janitor his whole life and sat in the yard and threw rocks at cats. Yeah, damn cat. Never hit him. And I would just sit out there going, and my grandfather was my best friend. I know everybody talks about, oh, you don't hang out with your elders. When I was going through college, I was like 20, 21. I actually would go to my grandpa's house in Brooklyn and hang out. He was actually a pretty cool guy. And I always liked to see how many times he couldn't hit a cat with a rock. So he says, one day I'm going to hit that damn cat. No, you're not, Grandpa. Not going to do it. Today at 65, if someone even retires at 65, my goodness, it is so different. The traveling, the active spending. So David Blanchett, who is a really amazing researcher when it comes to all things retirement, had created something called the Retirement Income Smile. And we use that as an overlay on our withdrawal services at RAA. Here's why. When you first retire, you're pretty active today. You're traveling. You're acting. And if you're younger, say, I consider if you're 65, 66 years old, you're actually a young retiree. You're doing a lot of things. You're staying busy. You're traveling. You're going out with friends. You're staying social. And your withdrawal rate, based on the old stale rules, might concern you. 10, 11, 12% withdrawal rates. Front-loaded. Because this is when I should be front-loading it. Younger retiree, I have things I want to do. And most people prefer spending more early in retirement. That's how retirees spend. Everybody is going to be different, but for the most part, retirees don't match this 4% rule guideline anymore. Nor can we say, oh, I'm going to tuck this money into bonds and just clip the coupons. We know we need a total return approach. Trimming capital gains, filling the cash bucket so I could take my withdrawals on an automatic basis. A lot of people will take them on a monthly basis, almost to resemble a paycheck coming in, where the money is just moved into their checking account electronically. So there was a survey done, 2,000 defined contribution plans, participants funded through the Granum Center for Economic Security at the American College for Financial Services. And Michael Finke did this study. He's really great when it comes to retirement income study. He said, I provided participants with a choice of 4 spending options. They choose to spend more early, spend the same dollar amount each year, then maintain a constant amount of after-inflation spending, and then increase spending gradually. 38% of participants chose to spend the same dollar amount each year, and the second most popular choice at 28% was spending even more, which is what I see, early in retirement. And since inflation eats away at purchasing power, that means that 2/3 of respondents would prefer to front load retirement spending. And intuitively, you would think that makes sense, right? I'm at the beginning of the retirement income smile where I'm spending more. Then I am going to look at, so this constant real spending rate, it doesn't work. And if you're using planning software that assumes a 4% withdrawal rate, here's what you're going to do. You are going to create a miserable, miserable retirement. most people who primarily have stocks and bonds or variable assets, and that's how they're generating income. Yeah, sure, Social Security is their pension most likely, but that's just a percentage. If I have variable assets, most likely I'm underspending because those assets are erratic. I could be down 10%, normal garden variety recession, and it's going to freak me out. And I'm going to spend less, which means I'm going to deprive myself of money early on, have more money when I'm more in this settled or the valley of the smile, when I'm not unhealthy, by the way. So here's what I'm working with right now are clients that have been in retirement distribution for about 15 years or so. They're in the valley of the smile. And what I mean by that is, listen, how many times do we got to travel to Italy? How many times do we have to do this? Been there, done that. They're not unhealthy, by the way. Their priorities have shifted. Now they have grandkids who come over every weekend or every other weekend. Sort of give mom and dad a chance to breathe. They take those kids out for their events. They may set up a special trip for those grandkids, but for the most part, they're not doing stuff a lot on their own. They're not eating dinner out all the time. I have clients now that they would go to all these fancy restaurants all the time. And once they hit like 78, they're like, we still go, but like we go early and we order maybe half of what we used to and bring most of it home. So it's more of a closer to the roots kind of retirement for a good period of time. And guess what? In that period, my spending rate is pretty steady. I'm actually not spending as much, but I'm not unhappy. Like, how much junk do I need? I'm not buying any more stuff. Like, when was the last time Brent bought a shirt? 1972.
Hey, now.
I'm kidding. Just kidding. But you know what I mean, Brent. Like, you're in this, like, why do I need new clothes, new this? Like, once in a while, I guess I got to repay, but you're in this period of, I don't need, more stuff actually gets you stressed.
But you got to keep it snappy, Rich.
You got to go, yeah, I know you got to look snappy. You got to do that.
You're on YouTube.
I know, I'll just wear my new hat. But there is a point where you don't need new furniture. You don't need new stuff. You're actually downsizing. And your experience is a little more local. So I have clients that actually would travel to Europe every year. First active part of retirement. Now they're just traveling around the U.S. They're loving it. Like, they're starting to see all the things they haven't seen in the United States. So their travel has downsized a bit. They're closer to home. They got Texas. Texas, if you could spend your lifetime going through the history of Texas. Am I right?
That's right. Texas is a whole other country.
I mean, it is. I mean, you actually think about it, that you could spend your retirement just traveling through all the historical, amazing components of areas of Texas itself. But, they just came back from South Dakota. Mm-hmm. So I'm living through them because they're seeing all the fall colors, and they're killing me.
No, vicarious vacationing is fun.
That's what I do.
And cheap.
I live through them. Yeah. They said, "Look, Rich, I'm in Bend, Oregon. Look at the color of the leaves on that tree." Ah! But they're not doing these extravagant trips anymore. But they're happy as hell. Now, as you get older, it's not even the healthcare costs, because Medicare does a pretty decent job, even if you do it the right way. Long-term care costs, aging in place. I might have a short-term disability, right? I fall, I break something. My expenses at the end of retirement start to complete the smile overall. So when you're working with an advisor, and that advisor brings up the 4% rule, you need to run 4% faster than you would have. Out the door. Because that is not how people spend. And as we are recording this before Thanksgiving, we are going to be forced to eat luscious turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes. Man, I love Thanksgiving. I go into a roll, like a dinner roll coma. Now, I did not know this. Texas Roadhouse. If you haven't never been to a Texas Roadhouse, but the rolls.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
With honey on them.
Yeah. So before you die, like if I was in prison and they said you have a last meal, I'm going to want to roll around naked in Texas Roadhouse rolls and eat them along the way. That's all I want. Texas Roadhouse rolls. I didn't realize you actually can go and order them.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which means all I need is that in the gravy. I don't even need the turkey.
Well, I know what you're getting for Christmas.
No, don't do that. Listen, that is the absolute worst thing for your diet. And the problem is I have so much discipline. My girlfriend says, you cannot read anything or do anything unless you are learning from it. Isn't that frustrating? I'm like, it's frustrating for you, but not for me. I mean, I want to learn. Anything I take on is to learn. To grow my mind, think differently. Because that's where I'm benefit to my clients and to my firm is by accepting new ideas. Most advisors dig in their heels, especially at my age. They're throwing rocks at other advisors from the lawn. Young nabbit, if it's not broken, don't change it. No, you've got to break things as an advisor. You've got to break things, especially in this age of AI. Like Elon Musk goes in and breaks things and then reinvents them. You have to do that as an advisor. You can't be set in your path, your process, especially now. And considering decumulation and Roth is something you, as an investor, needs to accept. And at least run the numbers. May not be right for you, but be open to it. And I hope you all have a great holiday, a great Thanksgiving, no matter what you're doing. And remember, the one important thing about this holiday that I really love, and I try to practice gratitude every day, but be grateful. When my girlfriend gets mad at her mom, taking her mom to see Gene Watson, by the way. I got a mom date. They may not be here next year. Be grateful for those around you who you love, because it's a fleeting moment, everyone. It's fleeting. I appreciate you and grateful for people who listen to us on the podcast. You all take care. Thanks for tuning in to Financial Fitness.